Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Sleegy earlier, and you hear it from me again today. We are back from minor league esports, ready to go into our second 10-season stretch here. Minor League Esports presented by 8 PM Music. I apparently can't speak today. My name is Keegabyte. Once again, coming back to Minor League Esports after a long stretch away. I am joined by Inanimate Jay. How are you doing tonight, my good man?
Nice and warmed up now that we've gotten the first series out of the way here on MLE Sports GG2. If you're just joining us, thanks for sticking with us as we get set to kick off this interesting Foundation League matchup between two franchises that haven't had a Foundation League team in quite a while. It's the Ducks and the Aviators, set to renew hostilities here in the Sky Division.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty decent matchup that we've seen from previous seasons. You know, like you said, they didn't have a Foundation League last season, and they're coming back into the Foundation League scene now to start and kind of build up their franchises from the bottom up, and that's really nice to have that in your franchise. However, like you said, some inexperience might come into play. However, we do have some experienced players on both sides of these teams. The Ducks and the Aviators have some returning players from last season. Backham and Green go fantastic from the Ducks, as well as Darth Red Raider and Lactose the Intolerant on the side of Aviators. So the question becomes, how are these two teams going to interact with each other? And they're all probably new to each other. So is that going to come into play?
The biggest question for me is, can the Ducks handle Darth Red Raider, posting a 77% win percentage over 30 games last season? Is a very strong Foundation League player going into the second season in Foundation League, switching over to the Aviators this season. Backham also almost ranking out to Academy League. There was a bit of a reshuffle with salary calculations during the offseason, got put back in Foundation League for a second crack at the can. We'll see if that puts a little bit of a chip in the shoulder of the Ducks players here. As the Ducks in their away, the Aviators in the home green. We get set to throw these players in here on another great evening here on Salty Shores.
You know, like you said on Beckham as well, he doesn't have too bad of an MVPR either. 2.99. That's like right on the borderline of where it starts to get into kind of like not so great. But he does have a decent MVPR, especially after playing the whole season last season. So we'll have to see how we can do this season and if he improves. But like you said, he was on the borderline of ranking out, so I expect great things from him.
Two new players on either side as well. Logic for the Ducks, Neil for the Aviators, as kickoff is here, and we're probably going to need to reset the lobby.
Are we gonna? Oh
yeah.
Yep,
yes.
We are indeed going to have to reset the lobby as
Shout
we
out
had
to the match officials.
As we had a bit of a mutator problem. So, that's going to be fun here. So, as we were saying, Backham, what's your opinion on him as a player? You've probably seen a lot more of him than I have, considering that you were casting for MLE last season. I unfortunately was not. So what do you think? What do you think of him as a player?
I definitely think that there's a lot of potential, especially in a player that under older salary rules did make it to Academy League. There's not a lot to choose from with players at that high end of the salary spectrum. And in Foundation League, with the way that the league is structured at the draft, with the average salary cap at the draft being that of all of the players in the league, it's a very top-heavy league. There's a lot of players that sit Platinum 2 and into Diamond 1. So the competition is really narrow in terms of the franchise is being able to build around a number of really good players, and they might have a couple of gold 1s, gold 2s scattered throughout there, but a lot of the times those players improve so exponentially with exposure to playing with players just a little bit ahead of them in that ranked ecosystem.
Yeah, that's kind of all you need sometimes, is to get that experience in with players that are just a little bit better than you, but not so much that you can't understand what they're doing. But we are off to the races here. Backham going to try and get it past Darth Red Raider, the other returning player on the Aviators side. Going to try and dribble it past two, but he does get blocked out by both of them. Darth Red Raider going to try and take it back. Logic cuts it off in the mid. Chipped over to the side, gets it past Raider. Now it's a 2v1 situation. Neo trying to get back. A shot comes in. Neo gets a block. Is he going to be able to quit that out? Yes, he is on the backflip. Already a save from the Aviators, and the Ducks putting a ton of pressure.
Pixels away from the first goal being scored inside the first minute as the Ducks had it on the Aviators goal line, and Neo kept it cool, managed to get it past the goal line and away, and it stays 0-0 here inside the first minute.
Logic with a nice booming clear upfield. Neo gonna try and get it away from him. Does successfully, not quite. Logic is able to get it to center. Backham gonna try and take a shot. That one's gonna go all the way back, and Logic get there in time. Yes, he can. A save comes out from the Ducks now. And so far, we're seeing the Aviators try and put some offense on, and they're gonna so far, we haven't seen much offense from them, so we'll have to see how this goes.
Foundation League, with the ranks being the way they are, you won't see that same kind of mechanical consistency, and that comes to play there as Logic gets the save, but has to commit so much of the car momentum in trying to clear that one away. It just goes loose, and Neo waits for it, puts it into the open net. And I think that's more of what we're going to see, Keegabyte. It's a little bit of 1 or 2 chances because the teams just don't really have that kind of capability to maintain long stretches of pressure. It's going to be mistakes. It's going to be messy through the midfield that opens up opportunities for these teams to score goals.
Yeah, especially in the early season, by the time we get to like the later half of the season, I expect these players to be able to do things that are much more that you'd expect like a Plat or a Diamond to be doing, and some of these players are already within that range. But that's unfortunate, Neo. Ooh.
A little bit loose from Darth Red Raider in the corner. Logic picks it off really well, and it's an awkward bounce. It's just away from that backboard, skims off the inside post, which just puts it out in front of Neo as they go up to try and tip it away. It's a feels bad moment. It sucks for the Aviators, and it's a tie game now for the Ducks.
Yeah, avoidable tie game, but that's just one of those things you have to learn when you're playing defense. You don't really want to push out in that manner. You want to try and go for something else, but Neo chips it across the center. Red Raider is not there. Instead, he's holding back for the Logic pressure here. Off the wall, Logic didn't quite read that as well as he would have wanted to. Backham going to take it off to the side and try and control it, but Neo is right there again for the Aviators to return it. Backham off the top. Red Raider tried to put a shot on target, couldn't get it. Goes off the crossbar. Neo trying to put an air shot in, almost able to get it past Logic, but Logic got a nice save. Now Backham going to have the opportunity to carry this one upfield. Pre-flip did not work for him. Going to go off the corner. It's up in the air. Is Logic going to be able to come up and get a hold of this? No, feels flip, and Neo's going to be able to get a nice clear.
A little bit too long waiting on that one to come down from Logic. It let the Aviators get back and clear this one away. As again, it's that midfield play that's kind of messy for both teams here. You see Backham doing that donut there, but it's a loose touch by Darth Red Raider that opens it up for the Ducks. Now Logic waiting back. It's a slow one. Should be easy for Darth, and it is. And these chances, there's not a lot of threat in them because there just isn't that same kind of real power to these teams getting their shots. It needs to be a mistake to open things up, as Backup almost making one there will tip it away, and the Aviators don't get a shot off of it.
Honestly, though, for a Foundation League player, Logic is really impressing me. We see that there's a lot of game sense on him. He knows when he should at least go for touches. He might not have the mechanical ability to go for them, but he's not hesitating on these. He's going for them, and at the very least, he's passing it to his teammate, or at least where his teammate should be. So Logic already showing some promise early in the season.
As you say that, I love the breakout play on this one. The final touch isn't there, but the first 2 touches to bring that ball under control, to get it past the first line of defense for the Aviators, more of that and more consistency with plays like that. We'll see a lot more success for Logic moving forward in Foundation League and possibly even up into Academy League.
So a miss there from Raiders, going to allow Backham to take the shot. Neo commits up a little bit too far. The cheat doesn't always work for you, my friend, and that will be a Ducks lead by 1 with 1 minute remaining.
Just too much space for Backham to come out of the backfield and pick that ball off. Darth's first touch, a little bit contested by Logic in the corner, and left Neo kind of on an island, wanted to come out for that one, never really had the speed to do so. And the ball falling to the Ducks here. They get a late lead with about a minute to go.
Red Raider off the corner, tried to get it to center, but his teammate was not there, so it's going to be a free ball for Backham. Unfortunately, he loses it, and Neo's going to send this one back upfield. Backham, nice little chip there to get it away from him. Off the wall, nice touch to get it past Red Raider. Logic, he's going to come up and take a shot at this one. He does put it past Neo, and that's a goal. The Ducks now up by 2 with 38 seconds remaining, and that might be the nail.
I love this play from Backham. Just stunts that one long enough to get Darth Red Raider to look like they might challenge on the back check. It's a fake all day as Logic coming up just beats Neo to it, as there's just a bit too much hesitation in the last bit of the Aviators defense, and the Ducks put it in from midfield to make it 3-1.
Backham comes up on this one after no touch from Neo. Raider gets a block. Logic with the shot. It's going to go off crossbar. Or no. Oh, that was close, but it did end up crossbar down and out. Backham tried to go for the finish. Now this one's going slow into the Ducks side. Red Raider comes up and takes the coverage off the corner to center. Neo with the shot. The block and save comes from Logic, and that'll pretty much be it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 is going to go to the Ducks. Probably.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch, because the Aviators
I
keep
believe
that
it's don't
pressure
count your
on.
ducks before they hatch.
Close enough. The pressure, though, the pressure by the Aviators, they got both the Ducks to commit on that high ball in front of the net. They kept it in the corner. Darth Red Raider bouncing out in front, and the Aviators, they get a chance here with 9 seconds to go to try and force OT in game 1.
The Red Raider scorching across the field to try and do exactly that. Neo with the shot, can back and get there. No, he can't! All right, well, make me eat my words, Neo. That works. The Ducks just collapsing in the last couple seconds of the game. Now we might see an overtime unless they can put another shot on.
3-3, 3 seconds to go. Three's wild? Question mark? It was a textbook kickoff play, though. Darth Red Raider bouncing it over the first play from Logic. Backham can't recover and leaves a shooting lane open for Neo, who puts it off the bar. That one's alive, though. In front, Darth Red Raider wisely takes it down away from Backham. And we go to OT here in game 1.
Darth Red Raider wins the kickoff. Logic's going to go back and try and take control of this one. Just goes underneath it, so now he's going to have to carry it back out from his back wall. Neo and Red Raider are a little bit close there, and that's going to allow Backham an opportunity to come up and grab a hold of this one. It's going to bounce closely towards the net. Neo with the save. Logic going to try and finish it off. It does go high. It's going towards the net. Is Red Raider going to get there? No, and Backham can't get the follow-up shot, and we play on.
A little bit too quick on that play as it bounced right on top of Backham. The reaction touch, unfortunately, shanked it wide off the far post, and the Aviators, they flirt with disaster after an incredible comeback inside the final 10 seconds, and they keep themselves alive here in OT.
Red Raider, opportunity. Slow shot, allowed Logic to get to it. Logic trying to get it past Neo. A 50-50 is going to keep it going into the Aviators' side. Neo up the corner. We're just about to hit a minute played here. Red Raider off the wall. It's going to go. Logic bumps out Backham, which might lead to a bit of a challenge here by Red Raider, and it will. That's going to go all the way back into the Duck side. Logic not quite able to handle that one yet. Bounces past him. 50 between Backham and Neo. Red Raider, shot. It's on target. Backham with the save. Great rotation there.
Good awareness by Backham, knew the shot was coming, and that's a good bounce too, just behind Neo. Darth having to come across and play that one away to give the Aviators breathing space. Logical miss, Darth Red Raider will not! Backham tried to get there, and the Aviators, 3 unanswered. They win it in OT by a score of 4-3.
All right, so I just ate my words there. You know what? The Aviators, they got it done. And kudos to them. That was a crazy comeback there in the last 30 seconds to come back from down 3-1 and then win it 4-3 in overtime. And that's only game 1. If that is how this series aims to continue from where it is right now, I will be so hyped and so ready to cast all 5 of these games.
13 shots on goal by the Aviators, a double savior by Logic in their MLE debut, but it's not enough to see the Ducks through game 1. They'll drop it 4-3 in overtime to what can only be described as a relatively heroic performance by the Aviators to kick off this set.
Yeah, the Aviators, like you said, heroic is to say the least. They looked down. I thought they were down and out on this game 1 and we'd be ready for game 2, but no. In the last 30 seconds, they come back from that 3-1. So Aviators, I am very, very impressed. Darth Red Raider coming up strong for his team. Neo no slouch either on a 2-1-1-8 scoreline, but Darth Red Raider coming up with the assists, the goals, and the saves to get it done. Just barely, but he managed to do it.
A big reason, I think, why Darth's last teams in Foundation were so successful, that 77% win rate, and it really started to show here as we look at that scoreline from game 1. Again, 2 goals, 2 assists, 100% goal participation by Darth Red Raider with a savior to boot. Just a big anchor at the backline for the Aviators to convert those chances, and Neo coming up big when it mattered as well.
Yeah, Neo, he had a lot of the offensive pressure. He had 8 shots on that game, only scored 2, but 8 shots on that game, you know, it's really hard to stand up against that kind of pressure no matter who you are.
Exactly. Again, we talked a lot about the Ducks too throughout the course of that game. A fantastic performance by Logic and Backham both that just ultimately somehow wasn't enough to put the Aviators away. We'll see if they can recover here in game 2.
Well, Neo trying to get a dunk there, almost manages to do it, but Backham able to just put it away in time. Red Raider up the wall. Backham takes the shot. It's going to go long. Is that on target? Yes, it is. A long sniper from Backham, and we have a Ducks lead 1-0.
Caught the Aviators napping a little bit without boost at midfield there. It's a great touch by Backham. Both of the Aviators off screen to the right as Neo and Darth Red Raider both looking for boost on the rotation with that loose touch that Backham picked up. I talked about it a little bit in the Champion League match prior to this one as As an offensive player, you have a responsibility in twos to keep that ball away from easy clearing lanes, and the Aviators guilty of letting the Ducks have an easy one there.
Red Raider trying to follow this one up off the wall. Waited a little bit too long, but ends up picking out Logic anyway. Neo with the shot. Backham is going to be able to get the save over into the corner and follow it up, but Logic gets the boost and bumps out Backham, so that's going to allow Aviators the ability to pressure here. Logic can't come up with that one. This is going to be Neo's ball to take a hold of. Does chip it over across field. Can't quite get there in time, though. Can Raider. Raider does dunk out Backham. Logic with the long clear to Neo. Neo not able to get the touch either. That one's going to fall farther back into the Aviator zone, but Red Raider is there to collect it. So now we just see a lot of attempting to control the ball coming back and forth from these teams, which I really like. And those are some really good instincts to get into if you're Foundation League. But what a save by Red Raider, too. We talked about it, how he got those saves last game, and those were the real linchpins of the game. But the control game is impressive for two, Foundation League teams.
A lot of the trick with control is essentially forcing an opposing player into doing what you need them to do, and unfortunately for the Aviators, they don't get what they need out of that one, as Backham just putting the Aviators in a tough spot. Neo desperately trying to cover that one off. It bounces awkwardly out, and Darth has to slow down all the momentum to try and read it. Logic has a better line and gets that one clean in, but we talked a little bit about Darth on that last sequence of play too, dribbling the ball out, but unfortunately just didn't quite keep the control needed to keep the Aviators out of pressure, and a lot of that ended up being after the 50. Neo was stuck looking for boost. You have to recognize a lot of the times when you're dribbling and your teammates needing a little bit more time that you have, a responsibility to not put them in a tough spot. Speaking of tough spots, the Ducks in one, Neo makes them pay.
Yeah, this is a really great sequence by Red Raider here to get it to center, and Neo comes up and cleans it up. But Red Raider, just a beautiful sequence of touches to get that pass to center, and he does do exactly that, and Neo finishes it off. So they will restrict the lead to only by one, as they're starting to come back a little bit earlier this time, hopefully. And they're still looking good no matter what you say.
Exactly. Even with the mistakes, they're doing a good job recovering from that and being able to at least keep the games competitive when they're down. It's an important trait to have if you're in a competitive Rocket League environment. That one a little bit too far away from the Aviators' defense, and Backham makes it 3-1.
Yeah, Red Raider couldn't come up and get that touch, faked each other out. Neo trying to turn around on this one as well. Unfortunately, just didn't quite come back in time to goal to get a hold of that one. So that's going to be a 3-1 lead here for the Ducks. Red Raider wins that kickoff pretty handily. Neo, nice dunk. That one's going to go to center. Is Red Raider going to be there in time? Not quite. He puts it off the corner, back to center, but Neo was nowhere to be found for that one. So Logic will get the free send, a shot on goal as well. Well, the Aviators are going to try and return this one. A quick return play. Logic with the dunk is going to put pressure on Aviators to deliver. Back to center. Buckham with the shot off to the left. Not able to put it on target, so we play on here. Still a 2-goal lead for the Ducks.
There was a big chance for the Aviators to turn that one in transition. Logic, no boost going down the far boards. Backham a little bit beat by the play, but Darth Red Raider throwing themselves at that ball didn't get enough power to get that in clear. And the Ducks, they recover on this one. They are able to get defensive coverage now as Neo puts that one into an easy clearing lane for Logic. That was a big opportunity for the Aviators, and they don't even get a shot out of it.
Red Raider takes a shot. Backham is able to get this one long. Neo over top. Not able to get it down. Red Raider can't get a touch on it either. Neo is going to put it off the backboard. Backham to the wall. Neo doesn't turn on it. That's going to allow Backham to take a free carry here. He's going to try and get it past Neo. Nice dunk, but Red Raider comes up through in time as well. Ducks putting up a lot of pressure here, but this might be a counterattack opportunity for the Aviators. Red Raider going to try and drop this one down for Neo. Neo with the shot. Backham with the save. And can Red Raider get one in target? Yes, he can. It'll be a 1-goal lead now for the Ducks.
A little bit awkward there as both the Aviators commit on the goal line. If that ball bounces in any other direction, it's a free clear for Logic. Unfortunately, it's just over top. Darth Red Raider staying with it, chips it over across the goal line. 1-goal game, 83 seconds to go.
Shot into the corner. Neo can't put that one on target. Backham carries this one to center to Logic. Logic gets a nice dunk on Neo. This one's going to go back to center. Red Raider is there to grab a hold of it. Not a great touch, and that's going to leave an opportunity open for Backham. He can't get a great touch on it either. Logic to the side. Oh no. Neo has the opportunity to carry this one in. Oh, what a touch. What a goal by Neo. And we have a tie game with just under a minute remaining.
Great job by Neo. Just flicks it up, gets Backham the turn, and that exact moment flicks it over top. There's nothing Backham can really do once the decision to turn towards that ball is made. The Aviators don't leave it to the last second. They tie it up here with 57 to go.
Darth Red Raider over into the corner. Aviators trying to get this one a little bit sooner than they did last time. Logic gets a save. Going to keep the Ducks alive for now. Up the wall by Backham. Backham trying to get an air carry. Does get a second touch on it. It's to center. Logic going for the shot. Not able to get it past Red Raider, though. Neo gets another touch on it as well. Backham is there. Backham with the 50. Backham off the backboard. He's not going to be able to clean it up. But so far, Ducks with a lot of pressure.
Couple of bangs off that backboard, but unfortunately it breaks down as Boost runs out for the team in yellow here. And this one, a little bit dangerous here. It's long Backham stretching. It's not cleared. Darth Red Raider off the post, and Neo lurking on the top of the box will opt to retreat. Back the other way. Backham through the ball and the player, but it's back out to midfield. That one, I think, is going to be slow enough to do it, Tiga. We'll see overtime possibly now for the second straight game in this set of 5.
Oh, man. Well, you know, I said it after the first game. If this is how this series means to continue, it's going to be a hype series, and it already looks like it's going to be that way. These two teams very evenly matched. Logic off the backboard, trying to finish it up himself. Can't get the read down. Backham off the backboard. Logitech puts another one there. Backham's going to go up and try and get a hold of this one. Is going to drop it. Not quite to where he wanted it to, though. The defense not great for the Aviators here, kind of scrambling, but they are able to get it out. Neo now has a 1v1, gets it past Backham. Is that on target? No, it's just off to the right. Couldn't curl it around in time.
Oh, but a pass on the follow-up play. Unfortunately, Darth Red Raider out of region. Neo having to come back. No boost here. Backham's in a good spot, but a huge demo on the back check by Darth Red Raider takes Logic out of the equation, and the Aviators will clear their lines.
Backham up in the air. Gets this one into the Aviators' defensive third. Neo's going to come back and chase it. Try and take it around the world. Was a little bit slow with it. The Red Raider is there to make sure it doesn't go too far. Logic. Nice touch. Neo up into center. Turned around and that was Red Raider. Backham got a nice clear, but no one was there to finish it off. And Neo's going to carry this one back into his own corner. A quick turn potentially here as Neo's going to try and break away with this one. Can't get it over Backham. Backham gets a nice block. Upfield. Both these two teams trying to find something, any foothold they can in the other team's side, because right now it's been a lot of back and forth game, and the more sustained pressure we get from either team, the more likely they are to score.
That's what I talked about in Game 1, that the likelihood in Foundation League of sustained pressure is one that's a big question mark because the players just don't quite have that developed sense of mechanical consistency here. So this game is going to be won and lost through the midfield as Logic clears Darth Red Raider, but Neo back before Backham can attack that one. 2 minutes and change now elapsed here in overtime. Still 3-3 as the Aviators continuing to defend, trying to get this one out.
Ducks now, they have that sustained pressure like you were talking about. Darth Red Raider is trying to get this one clear, but so far the Ducks are holding a really great midfield defense. Red Raider is able to get it out now. He might have an opportunity for a shot here, but it's going to go wide. Backham and Logic, neither one were there to defend that very well. So Red Raider, had that been on target, that would have been the game.
A little bit more patience from Darth Red Raider would have seen that one. Logic high on the backboard trying to cut that one off, and Backham left a shooting lane open. Big save, though, as Backham will tip it away from Darth Red Raider on the doorstep. 2:40 now gone in overtime. Still a 3-3 game.
Neo leaves it for Red Raider. Backham up the wall. Off the ceiling. It's not going to be there. Logic can't get the touch on it either, so this one's going to be a free shot for Neo. Neo on target. No, it's not on target. It's going to go just off to the left, and unfortunately another open net miss for the Aviators. So unfortunate there. Oh, that one might roll in if it's lucky. No, not quite either.
Darth out of boost, just helpless to watch that one roll wide, and thankfully Neo kept enough boost in the tank to come through. The Ducks will not convert that one on the doorstep here, and they'll reset from back in their own corner.
It's going to go over to Backham. Red Raider. Logitech going to take it up the wall. Or, yeah, Logitech. You know what? I knew it was going to happen eventually.
It's twice now.
It's twice now? Oh, I didn't even notice it the first time. Just to show you, you know, what I just completely off the tongue. Neo takes that one over the top. Red Raider's going to try and challenge this one. That was a risky challenge, but it kind of needed to happen. Otherwise, that one was basically going to be an open shot. Logic. Nice dunk. Red Raider's going to maintain control of it, though. Aviators applying a lot of pressure. Backham now trying to return it back to upfield. Neo is able to get the dunk and prevent too much of an aggression. We're in a 4-minute overtime here, much longer than we saw in the first game. Neo with the shot. Backham with a great save. Coming up strong for his team again. Like you said, the wall.
Oh, but you need a little bit more than that as the ball gets left behind at midfield by both of the Ducks. And Darth Red Raider, unfortunately, not able to turn that goalwards. It's, again, this play at midfield where one little mistake turns into a chance, and neither team yet able to convert. 4.5 now into overtime. The shots, 9 and 12 respectively. Not as many as we saw to the Aviators last time, but still no less excitement. That's a loose touch by Logic. Neo won't make a mistake. And on the 10th shot of the game for the Aviators, they take this one 4-3 in OT.
4:43. Jeez, what a match here we are on so far. And that's only game 2. Aviators with the 2-0 lead here. And you know what? These two teams, no matter how you look at it, even though Aviators have won both of these, they are both so well matched. I will say, though, the biggest difference is that Aviators, both of them, have a bit more consistency than the Ducks.
The Ducks just lack that final bit of finish, I think, in the offensive end to find a way through the Aviators defense. We almost saw it right at the start of game 1 with that goal, or the ball on the goal line of the Aviators net that Neo somehow was able to backflip out because neither Ducks player was in a spot to really finish that chance. And again, through overtime, Keegabyte, number of chances that were just there for either team that, if not for a little bit more finish from either side, this one might have ended much sooner.
Yeah, there were a lot of consistency problems, not just in how they were approaching the ball, but in their shots as well. Their shooting consistency, both of them really need improvement. I will say, the Ducks, we talked about how Logic seems to have, a lot of natural skill, but he needs to refine his mechanics. That's still true. But Darth Red Raider, I like what we're seeing from him so far. That game, he was kind of overshadowed by his teammate Neo, but Darth Red Raider, we're seeing him, he has a mind for this game. And you can tell, even at this lower level, he understands how the other team is going to move, how his teammate is moving. He understands the flow of a Rocket League game, which is something that you can't teach, and it's something that he has in him, and we're seeing that on field.
It's one of the most difficult things to do as a player is to learn the mental side of the game, is how to process the information that's flowing in and out of your mind in short, really rapid bursts, that to be able to understand and process that effectively to make correct decisions. Darth Red Raider off one post, off the other, can't give the Aviators their first lead in regulation of the series here. I stand corrected. They had the lead in game 1. They had scored the first goal. But they haven't had a lead. Yeah, they haven't had a lead in regulation since that first goal, and it won't be here as Logic puts that one in to the open cage. The Ducks start game 3 on the front foot.
Yeah, the Aviators just kind of collapse on defense here. Darth Red Raider, he went for that touch. Neo was not back in time, definitely not in the right place. So that will be a goal for the Ducks. And like I said, Neo still has a lot of consistency problems, especially on the defensive side from what I've noticed. Darth Red Raider much better on defense, but Still a little bit of problems of his own, but he does really seem to be the defensive wall for his team so far. Neo, really good on offense, though.
I think the trick right now for the Aviators is just a matter of timing. It's a matter of timing yourself moving into the spaces that you think you need to be in, but the play hasn't developed quite to that point yet. We see it a lot out of Neo. You talked about it a bit in game 1 where you talked about creeping up a little bit on a clear that hasn't quite happened yet. And the more you watch this game, the more that you see those tendencies start to come out. As the players start to get themselves a little more familiar with the tempo of an MLE match, of the speed that they're playing at this level, you'll start to see more of those understandings come out for players, that they don't have to go for that ball as quickly, that they can wait, that another player will make the play happen for them, and they just have to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. Another thing that they could both really improve on is where they are positioned when they're defending. There's a reason we say back post on rotations, and I feel as though that, you've seen it from both of these teams. Primarily from the Aviators, I'd say, is where the mistake is who's making the most mistakes on that front. But I feel as though going back post for both of these players would really be a help to them. Oh no! Logic puts that one on a slow floater. Neither one of the Aviators players can really get a good read on this, and that will be a 2-goal lead for the Ducks.
Well, Darth Red Raider was back post, but unfortunately just didn't quite get the line right. It really was Neo's ball to clear away, but that one, it's a tough play. It's something that you see even Grand Champs struggle with at times. You've got that ball that's kind of in that arc through the corner. You need to read the arc of the ball. You need to line your car up properly to jump off that backboard and get away, and then still you need to fly at that ball and make contact. There's a lot going into that one, and it's really difficult for the Aviators to get clear. 2-goal lead now for the Ducks. The Aviators just off the post from bringing it back to 2-1.
Well, you said about you even see it from Grand Champs struggle with that sometimes. You know, I've seen it from every level of Rocket League where sometimes those slow floaters are just the hardest ones to get a hold of because you're so used to quick shots coming in, and then all of a sudden you just have one that's off speed and it really throws you. And I think that's what we saw there from the Aviators as well. Neo just he saw a slow one coming at him and he wasn't sure what to do.
It's like sometimes batting in MLB as Darth Red Raider on the doorstep taps that one in. You'll see a pitcher throw 2, 3, 4, 95-mile-an-hour fastballs amidst the 73-mile-an-hour changeup. That's finally the one that goes in.
And in this case, though, the one that went in was a great pass from Neo, pinched out to center for Red Raider. Ducks just a little bit out of position on defense there, and that will result in the Aviators' goal. So we've seen, though, the Aviators have something that you really can't quantify, and that's they have stick-to-itiveness, if you understand what that means. Like, they don't give up when they're behind. You know, they keep pushing, and I haven't seen the Aviators play like they're behind once.
No. The tenacity shown by the team in green out here is a testament to the player's character right now. They've gone down by 2 in every game so far this series, yet they've won both the games played so far by 4-3 in overtime. It doesn't matter right now for the Ducks how many goals they're scoring. The Aviators have self-belief in their ability to come back and make the plays count when they need to. And it's a really, really big test of character now to continue to play from behind and continue to just play as if nothing matters.
Bit of an ambitious attempt there by Neo. Would have been crazy if he managed to land that, but not quite able to do it. Now we have another Ducks pressure here. Logic gets demoed by Neo as he's coming back into goal. Bakum just going to try and keep control of this one. Neo's going to put it back to center, and Red Raider will be there first. Logic! Oh no, pushed up just a little bit too far and a bit non-committal on that challenge, and that will result in Darth Red Raider able to put this one basically for free past Logic.
It was almost a Statue of Liberty play because from Logic's camera angle, it really did look like Neo was going to take the play. And at the last second, Darth Red Raider kind of came into view, had a better line at that shot, and froze Logic out trying to cut down the angle. A big goal for the Aviators, again, tying this one up with more than a minute to play. And the Ducks, again, cannot find the edge to put themselves far enough in front to win a game.
Ducks, they are just trying to put one in here. They need to get a game here just to kind of, reconvince themselves that they're not just throwing this away at the very end. Darth Red Raider, he's trying to put this one away here. Can't quite get it past Logic. Logic, a little bit of an ambitious touch, but he isn't quite able to get a hold of it. Oh no, Darth Red Raider, mistake. Bakum, shot, goal. Ducks lead it with 30 seconds remaining.
It's almost as if Logic was intending to just confuse the Aviators' defense. It lands almost equidistant between Darth and Neo. It's Darth who tips it away off the backboard, and Bakum, the patience to come in from midfield, cleans that one up. It's a 3-2 Ducks game with 30 to go.
Bakum wins that kickoff. Ducks still want to put the last nail in the coffin. Neo, touch. Logic can't get a hold of it. Bakum able to get the save. That might have just saved them in overtime, but Darth Red Raider thinks otherwise. He's going to try and get it to Neo. Neo can't get the shot past Logic. They're both running back to try and get one final attempt at this goal. Red Raider off the wall. Neo going to try and challenge Bakum. Can't put it on target. It's off the upright, and it's going to... Oh, not quite. Not able to stay up in the air, and the Ducks will come away with one. 2-1 now in favor of the Aviators in this series so far. And the Ducks, they displayed a little bit of stick-to-itiveness there too, as they didn't play like they were down either.
It was almost as if the last goal is always going to be the one who wins this game. The Aviators, they struck last in regulation in both of the previous games. They forced overtime. They got their overtime winners. The Ducks this time scoring late, able to hold on as that ball tantalizingly close to the Ducks net at the end of regulation, but it just didn't roll up for them, Keegan. You talk a lot about stick-to-itiveness, and I agree. The tenacity by both teams shown in these games just really goes to show you how good games can be when you keep the relative skill levels of players close. And I think that's a big testament to what MLE has been able to build over the course of the last 5 years to make people feel comfortable playing at their skill level and at least be able to put on some really entertaining Rocket League.
So one of the great things, and one of the reasons why I think it's so great that they did the salary reshuffle and how the leagues are structured, because now we're seeing a lot more players that are like in that platinum to gold area playing with each other, rather than seeing some diamond sprinkled in there. And there is a huge jump between plat and diamond level. I think more than people really understand, because diamond, you're prepping for champ. Platinums are basically just like more consistent golds, and that's what we're seeing here, especially when we see these two teams come out, when we have players that have experience in MLE, they have experience in twos, and these guys have been playing with each other for probably a couple weeks at this point. So we're seeing what happens when you match those similarly skilled players, like you said, together. We get exciting games of Rocket League.
Exactly. And that's really, at the end of the day, I think what everyone comes out to watch here on the MLE Network are competitive games of Rocket League. The server is giving us a bit of an issue here as we get all the players back into a new lobby. It seems like this one, Gigabyte, a little bit cursed in terms of server luck. As Game 4 set to kick off here, everybody back in. We'll see what this one has in store for us.
Well, you know what? It's I've kind of coined this term at this point that it wouldn't be a night of Rocket League without some server problems. What a shot from Logic. Holy crap. Nice little chip off the wall there. Took Red Raider entirely by surprise. Great little quick strike there. But as I was saying, it wouldn't be a night of Rocket League without some server problems. It's almost like a neat little quirk of the game at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Darth just on the goal line right away off the kickoff. Almost, I don't think, moved from the starting spot either until that shot was coming in, and unfortunately left not a lot of angle to try and play that defensively. The Aviators give up a quick one off the set piece. The Ducks up early.
Wow, and the Ducks going to go up by 2 early, 13 seconds in. Quick strikes here both times. Bakum able to get a hold of this one. Logic got the first one, but this is a great little aerial touch there from Bakum. And, for Foundation League, that's a spectacular goal.
It's a great goal, but you talked a lot about back post rotation last game, Gigabyte. Darth Red Raider on that one, straight to net, pulled the E-break, shot was in over top, no angle to play that. That's 2 thus far now, that the positioning by Darth on the play defensively left the shooting lane open for the Ducks, and it is a track meet now as Neo goes coast to coast to cut the lead to 1.
Red Raider leaves that for him, probably unintentionally, but Neo, I think this is the second or third time we've seen him chip the ball up into the air and then get a touch in the air like that, and that's completely confounding the Ducks defense. At Foundation League level, that's spectacular if you can do that consistently, and it seems like Neo can.
I'm going to throw back to another classic Aviators Ducks series from last season's playoffs. There was an early round playoff match where the Aviators and the Ducks essentially traded kickoff goals for nearly 3 minutes of play, and it's starting to look like that here as both Ducks go by. Darth Red Raider makes it 2-2 with 4:16 left in this one. 4 goals, 44 seconds gone. It is absolutely anyone's guess what's going to happen next.
Darth Red Raider. Unfortunately, Ducks, that one was probably more on them. They just kind of double committed on that and both missed. So unfortunately, sometimes miscommunications happen, and you're going to have those. But 2-2 already, 45 seconds into the game. Some high scoring action. Bakum, nice touch off the wall. Neo and Red Raider both commit on this one. Bakum with the opportunity to get some offense going. He'll opt to control. Across the wall. Red Raider, nice touch. Neo jumping on the opportunity. Great reaction there by Neo as well. Quick reactions, that's what you want to see at this point.
In no hesitation, recognized the tough spot that Logic was in, trying to go back defensively, lobbed it towards goal, but ultimately wide. Great shot on by Logic. It's Darth Red Raider on the back line. Neo will need to find a touch. It's back him to put it wide. Logic on the doorstep, and it's a 3-2 game.
You know, as these players play on a little bit more, it's looking more and more like more like high flat, low diamond level gameplay, which is really great. We're already seeing improvement over the course of the series because both of these two teams really starting to feel their own, and they're feeling the heat, they're getting in their groove, and they're starting to show it.
Absolutely. Here's again Neo looking for one quickly off the kickoff to respond and pull the Aviators back on level terms here. Again, I described this as a track meet early, and it really is Neo again carrying it out from the backfield off the loose touch by the Ducks. One touch to get it up, Logic going up to try and get the clear, can't do it, follows through, and Neo putting the Aviators on their back to make it 3-3.
You know what, if Neo scores every one of those goals like that, because he seems to be able to do it consistently, I'm not going to complain, and I'm sure the Aviators aren't either. Great play from a Foundation League player who looks like he's about ready to move up into ACAD, and just great play from Neo overall, especially with his teammate, Red Raider, being so fantastic on the goal line that Neo can just basically do whatever he wants with no consequences.
Speaking of doing whatever you want with no consequences, Neo almost undressing both of the Ducks defenders on that play. Unfortunately, Darth Red Raider not able to pick up the loose ball effectively. Still not out of danger yet as the Ducks trying to find an answer for the Aviators' inability to call it quits in this series, as it's still here in the yellow end over on Salty Shores.
Red Raider trying to gain some advantage in the yellow end. Logic up the wall, he's going to look for a touch here, can't quite get a hold of it, boosted a little bit too far in front of it, and Red Raider will have control of this one all on his own, unquestioned. He's going to try and chip it out to Neo here, gets it past one, almost able to get it past Logic, but just jukes it a little bit too early. Oh no, that's a dangerous touch. Bacham not able to put it on target, could have been very bad there for the Aviators, but we still play on at 3-3.
Oh, another one as Darth Red Raider trying desperately to tip it away. Bacham was waiting again at the top of the box. Logic can't put one underneath Darth Red Raider, and Bacham rotating back has to delay this one just in time for Logic to rotate and get boost.
Bacham, not so great in the air consistency yet, it looks like, as, you know, that seems to be one of the strengths of the Aviators here, is their aerial consistency, and we've seen that from both Red Raider and Neo. They're both fantastic when boosting up to grab a hold of it. Neo, are we going to see another one from him? Getting up past Logic, does get a chip on it, but Logic is able to get a hold of it first, and Neo gets another touch as well. Was probably looking to carry that one through, but instead just ends up interfering with Bacham, and that's going to allow Red Raider to keep the pressure on. Can't get it past Logic, though, and Logic will get the clear.
Too aggressive by Darth Red Raider coming in. That ball to try and keep it alive in the corner, unfortunately, wasn't quite deceptive enough to really fool the Ducks' defense. And with Neo rotating out, it gave the Ducks an opportunity to bring it back out of that clearance lane upfield and put the Aviators back into their own end. The good touch now out to the side, but the Ducks, again, we've talked about it game in, game out, they have not really found ways to put the Aviators away. And the longer you let the Aviators stay in these ones, Kiga, the more it seems like they're just going to find that last way through.
And we've seen that the ones who take more advantage of the extended offensive pressure are the Aviators. The Ducks can't let them sit in their zone for too long. They do finally get this clear, but they were sitting in there for a long time. But a quick pass and a quick strike by the Ducks is going to see them put up by 1 goal. And the Aviators, we know they can strike back fairly quickly. It doesn't matter whether it's, 3 minutes or 30 seconds, they can do it.
Desperation creeping into the Aviators in transition. Neo going for boost, left the opening for Logic to put it out in front. Darth tried to come across and tip it away, but Bacham again cleaning it up for the Ducks will put them up by 1 inside the final minute for the second consecutive game.
Neo can't get that one out past Bacham. Darth Red Raider gets a touch. He's going to try and get a quick strike here. 30 seconds left. Logic can't get a touch. Darth Red Raider up. Neo looking for the touch. It's going to drop down. Bang! There it is. It's the tying goal with 22 seconds remaining. The Aviators have kept themselves in this game.
Another huge goal for Neo on their MLE debut as they tie it up with 22 to go at 4-4 in a critical game for the Aviators. One more win to put them up 3 in the series and secure that series win. One more game now for the Ducks to try and pull it back to make Game 5 matter for all the marbles in this Sky Division rivalry.
What an MLE debut it has been for Neo. Such an amazing player on offense. And these two players, Neo and Red Raider, They make such an amazing team. Neo has the offense covered, and he can go up and do whatever he wants. Red Raider knows that he will get the job done if Red Raider just covers his back. But now we have another overtime, the third in the series. This might be over very quickly. Neo puts it past. A demo by Bakum, that's clutch. It's on the goal line, can't get it out. Red Raider puts the shot in, and the Aviators will take the series 3-1. We still have Game 5 to play, but that will be how it rolls.
Oh, it's unfortunate for Logic as the ball still rolling goalward after an incredible demo by Bakum to at least give the Ducks a chance to clear that one away. Darth just waits it out a little bit longer, and the Aviators, the third overtime of the series, the third overtime win for the Aviators here in this 5-game set.
You know, we talked about how Neo and Darth Red Raider, they play such an amazing team, and I think in their stat line from this game, we can see exactly that. Neo, 3.005, Darth Red Raider, 2.113. Darth Red Raider was just playing such an amazing support that game, and he had just enough offensive pressure to come in clutch when it was necessary. Neo, amazing aerial control as well for a Foundation League player, getting the job done on offense, nearly undressing both the Ducks players, 2 or 3 times, I think?
At least.
Yeah, it did some serious dirty dancing in the offensive side from Neo. Great job from the Aviators there. They have the series, but we still have Game 5 to play.
You can't discount the Ducks. They've done everything they could except win the game of Rocket League at the end of the day. And you look back at this one was kind of a different game altogether because Games 1 and 2 went to overtime, went deep into overtime. A lot of saves from teams in those ones, a lot of shots. This one a little bit more controlled. There were less shots, but it was almost a track meet end-to-end from both sides. Essentially, both teams breaking out, trying to slam that one off the backboard, or just getting the open shots on goal to try and finish it out. The Aviators, if they can take it the distance, they seem to have what it takes to get over the line. The Ducks, one last chance to salvage 2 wins out of this 5-game set. Here we go, Game 5 underway.
Well, we know that the Ducks can get that other win here. They've gotten one. They just need to stifle the Aviators long enough. And it seems like the Aviators, you know, if they are down by 2 with 30 seconds remaining, there's a chance that they come back into it. But the Ducks, in order to do it, we're going to have to see a much cleaner defensive play from them. As the Aviators, they are meshing so well on those offensive rotations. The Ducks have not been rising to the challenge on that so far.
The one thing that the Aviators improved on just a little bit last game, as Neo will play off of a bump by Darth Red Raider in front of the net, they just had their positioning a little bit more spaced out on these offensive chances that might convert. Neo waited until that bump came in to really commit to attacking that ball, and the Ducks were helpless to capitulate on that one. The Aviators, they haven't had a lot of leads in this set, Gigabyte, but they get one here early in Game 5.
Now the Ducks are trying to get a quick strike. The Ducks, that seems to be their biggest strength, is those quick strikes. And because if they can get one, the Aviators a little bit slow to retreat back onto defense, which, you know, can happen sometimes. Bakum almost gets a nice little shot on goal there. Unfortunately, not able to put it on target, and Logic not able to put that on target either, so Darth Red Raider will take it back. But as I was saying, the Ducks seem to be really good on those quick strikes, but they need to get into a position where they can get the ball clear. Because like you said, the Aviators are so much more patient over these last couple games that it's really hard to find a space to get it out past them.
Exactly. The Aviators, now that they've gotten their spacing adjusted and they're finding their timing in transitioning through midfield, either on defense to offense or conversely back from offense to defense, the Ducks are finding it a little bit more difficult, I think, to really find those golden chances unless they're open nets off a true mechanical mistake from the Aviators. And that's a big thing for the Aviators. They've made that mid-series adjustment, and even when they were having to grind out those overtime wins, they're making them count because they put the Ducks under pressure, and now the Ducks still haven't really found that way to adjust and convert their chances into meaningful stretches of lead in this series.
Neo, shot on target. Bakum not able to get that save, and Neo puts another one through. 3:10 remaining, and we have the Aviators up by 2. The Ducks, we know they can come back, but they've got to put some they've got to put some gas on the tank.
It was a little bit too much space given up by Bakum there, turned around because there was a recognition that the challenge wasn't going to happen, but unfortunately it just left that shooting lane wide open for Neo to make that one count. That's, I think, a big thing for the Ducks moving forward. If they aren't able to bring this one back, look back at this replay, understand where your spacing is giving your opponents opportunities to play that ball in dangerous fashion towards you, and understand what you need to make adjustments on for next week, because these games, 50 games only for Foundation and Premier League because of the reduced number of teams for those two leagues. So these wins, especially in divisional play, matter more than most.
Bakum able to take that one away from Darth Red Raider. Logic up the top. Raider trying to get a touch. They both commit on it, but Red Raider is patient and waits for this to go off the wall. The Ducks not really committing here, and that feels though is another problem. And you kind of touched on it. The Ducks, they're just not committing on their touches.
It's not the worst thing in the world to not commit on your touches if you know that you can't make a play. Resetting and getting boost to try and pick off a play at midfield is not something I'll ever truly criticize. It's just when you make that decision to go back and give up the space, that not making the challenge when you need to becomes a problem, and that is what happens there. Bakum makes the decision to challenge, doesn't get the play to keep that ball alive, and Neo just fires in from midfield into an open cage.
Yeah, so like you said, not so bad all the time, but unfortunately when you need to and you're just kind of letting it there for the other team to take advantage of, that's never something you want to do. And the Ducks, yeah, Bakum probably could have had a better touch on that or waited back on it, but still, it's good to see them improving at least on their decisiveness to make these challenges.
Exactly. Again, this is the type of game, I think, that if you're the Ducks GM right now, you'll go back to the drawing board, you'll take a few notes on the opportunities that the Ducks had, really, I think, to try and keep this one close. It's Logic looking for one there. A little early on the flick, we'll play it right into Darth Red Raider. But just those little opportunities where there were chances, either earlier in the series or earlier in this game alone, to really put the Aviators under pressure, and they just didn't convert.
Bakum now trying to put a touch in, not going to happen. It's going to go off the upright, and Red Raider comes up and takes it off the top. Neo kind of trying to turn around here, does get a nice little block, and he's going to have an opportunity to take this one upfield. 3-0 so far for the Aviators. Ooh, almost a double touch there from Red Raider. But yeah, 3-0 here from the Aviators. Not looking so good for the Ducks, and you know what, just as I'm going to stop saying that now. What was that the second or third time I've cast or curse out this series?
It's getting up there, Keegan. You should probably bottle that and sell it to casters. But
yeah, I'm just gonna stop.
It's a great shot by Logic too. It's perfectly positioned inside that near post. There's nothing that the Aviators defense can do except possibly challenge that one earlier and take away the shooting lane from the Ducks.
Nice demo there by Red Raider to make sure Bakum couldn't do anything with it. Logic couldn't either, really, because he was blinded. Bakum gonna come up and take this one away, trying to get it past Red Raider, but Red Raider with a great challenge. It's gonna make sure that one stays central. No touch by Logic. Bakum comes up and gets a hold of it. Chips it into the opponent's side. Bakum trying to get it past Red Raider, ends up getting a demo instead. 20 seconds remaining. They've got to score this one here. Bakum can't put it past Neo. Neo, great 50. And Red Raider will make sure this one gets clear. It's still not looking good here for the Ducks. Red Raider, shot on target, goal, and that will be the nail in the coffin for the Ducks. The Aviators are going to take this one 4-1 in the series. And what an astounding level of play by both of these teams, honestly. They're both looking really good for Fettuccine League teams. I feel as though the Aviators, with that stick-to-itiveness we talked about earlier, they're the ones who had the advantage today. Your
United Rogue is showing.
My United Rogue is showing.
You called it Fettuccine League. As the Aviators ground that one at midfield. 4-1 the final score in the Foundation League kickoff here, as the Aviators will take that one. They pulled it out of the fire early on to get 2 big wins in OT, and they put the Ducks on notice here in the Sky Division and take the series 4-1.
You know what? I call it Foundation League over there too, so you know what? I'm just all kinds of confused today. So this was an amazing, like I said, a great day for both of these teams. The Aviators unfortunately just had that little bit of extra and that little bit of execution that really kind of outplayed the Ducks. You know, it was astounding how many times the Aviators just came back into this game when we thought they were down. I thought they were completely out of it game one, and they proved me very, very wrong. So the Aviators, they're looking really, really good for the rest of the season. I can't wait to see, especially with this pairing of Neo and Darth Red Raider do. But the Ducks, no slouches either. Bakum, a returning face, great player, and Logic, a really great newcomer to see, and he has a lot of potential too.
Two impressive debuts on either side of the field. Logic and Neo both living up to billing to start things off here as the Aviators take this one 4-1 over the Ducks in the Sky Division for the Foundation League. We're going to throw it over to a break. When we come back, stay with us, folks. The third match of this quadruple header here on primetime Saturday night keeps going here on MLE Sports GG2. It's the AL Wizards against the Spectre. You don't want to miss this one. You're watching MLE presented by APM Music.